Hello everyone and welcome to the 1901 Arts Club in London. This is the side of the Arts Club that you don't normally get to see. So it's very exciting. I'm Dominic de Gavino, and this a little bit of an explainer for people who are new to this series. Since July this year, I and some friends and a whole host of really wonderful musicians have been doing live streams from this venue, the 1901 Arts Club. This is our 6th concert today, and it's the first one that I'm not playing in, so it's very nice for me. All of the previous concerts are still available online. If you'd like to catch up with them, I'd really recommend it. And if you enjoy what you hear today, our next concert is going to be on the 27th of November. It's a Friday at 1 p.m. It features violinist Emily Earle and myself playing a program of Brahms, Kodály and Kreisler. And if you want to keep up with that and any future concerts that we're doing, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also in the description below the video today, there's, along with the program of today's concert, there's also a link to a mailing list for this series. So if you'd like to get a reminder a couple of days before the concert happens to let you know that it's going on, then do sign up to that as well. Now today I'm thrilled that we've got Meera Maharaj returning. She played the second concert in this series along with me, and at the end of that concert we were having a bit of a chat, and we sort of said that it would be a really nice idea if she came back with her guitarist duo partner James Girling, and so here we are today 4 months later, and we've got the Meraki duo, Meera Maharaj and James Girling. So I'm going to hand it over to them, and I hope you'll enjoy the concert very much.
Hello everyone. Well, what can I say? I'm very lucky that I can play with many amazing duo partners. But today, it's going to be a Meraki duo concert. So Meraki duo formed back in 2013. We started playing together in our very first year at the Royal Northern College of Music. In fact, from Freshers Week, from first year, we started our duo, and we've been playing together ever since. Meraki is a Greek word meaning to do something you love with all your creativity, soul and passion. So that's what me and James attempt to do in all our playing, really. That's the aim of the game. Yeah, so that's us. As Dom said, if you look below in the description, on YouTube, if you look in the YouTube description, there are all the details of the programme that we're playing today. You'll see it's very different from the programme that I played with Dom back in July. I mean, that wasn't too serious, but yeah, this is a particularly colourful and fun programme, a South American themed programme, and yeah, I think that's all really.
What more is there to say other than if you feel inclined, there is a GoFundMe link, so by way of a kind of fee for the two of us, it is free entry, but as I say, if you feel inclined, then feel free to pop us a donation, and we'd be hugely grateful.
We didn't want to charge ticket prices as such, I think, so it's more of a pay as you feel kind of situation. We thought that was nicer.
Yeah, and what's more, if you could let us know in the comments where you are streaming from, that would be great. Be amazing to see if there are people streaming from abroad, and especially from South America, because, well, there may be, given that a certain Rafael Marino Acaro is in the room, and so there may be 1 or 2 Brazilians, I don't know, aware of this concert. This is an entirely South American programme. So on that note, we're going to begin with a piece named Refleques, number 6, by Jaime Zenomon, who is a composer and guitarist from Bolivia. And this piece was originally written for cello and guitar. I don't know if this has ever been performed on flute before, so this could be a first. Who knows?
We should have worked that out before we played it.
Yeah, we
Hindsight's a
often
wonderful thing.
play repertoire that isn't originally written for our instruments. So yeah, this was a recent idea, and it's a really beautiful piece to be in today's concert with. Refleques number 6 by Jaime Zenemon. Thank you. So we'd like to move on now from Bolivia to Argentina, and again, this is a new piece of repertoire for Meraki Duo. This is a song entitled La Rosa y el Sauce, which translates as the Rose and the Willow, and it's composed by Carlos Guastavino, and Guastavino is best known in Argentina as a composer of songs, voice and piano, and this is one of his most famous songs, and I arranged it for guitar originally as accompaniment for voice, and then we had again the idea to hear it on flute, and in this instance on the alto flute, which you can see here, which is a beautiful, lush, considerably longer instrument.
How's that the best description you came up with for alto flute?
I'm working.
Nicer.
I'm working on my description of the alto flute. But yes, it works, we think, quite beautifully for this combination of instruments as well. So this is La Rosa y el Sauce, and that will be followed by.
And that will be followed by another arrangement actually, and this is going to be Bachianas Brasileiras number 5, just the aria, which was, that's by Villa-Lobos, and that was originally for voice and 8 cellos. So it's quite a hop from voice and 8 cellos to flute and guitar. But again, it works remarkably well. Yeah. I should add, I found a really nice arrangement of this first song that we're going to play, La Rosa. It works really well for cello and piano. There's some really beautiful recordings out there on YouTube.
That's what inspired the alto flute idea.
Yeah, I think that's what it came from. I originally looked for the song and then happened upon these recordings for cello, and I thought, haha, get my alto flute out.
So a second cello to flute connection of the day.
We just, Dom was just saying, well, telling us to look at the live chat. Should we do that now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Dom says maybe. I'm going to take that as a yes. Should we have a look at the live chat?
Yeah. I
Sorry.
realised that I don't have a device on which to look at the
I do
live
have a
chat.
device. Sorry, I think we just got a bit too into our Lobos.
Yeah.
And then we just forgot this was actually a live stream.
Yeah, it felt like
Yeah, cool.
an in-person concert.
Oh, excellent. Have a look at the live chat. Oh wow, we do have a lot of really nice comments. Excellent. Sorry, do you want to have a look? Deborah, Dom's mum. Hi, Deborah. Jackie from
lovely.
Wensleydale.
It's so nice to see names that we recognise from past concerts earlier this year. Believe it or not, it seems crazy to say that, but from concerts earlier this year.
Oh, Andy. Hey, Andy.
There's a couple of composers in there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's the guy from Spain I was telling you about.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got an alto flute.
Hi,
Alto flute
Christine.
is pretty cool. Got Sophie.
Michelle Castells.
Oh, hey Michelle. Thanks so much for watching. Aww, isn't this lovely?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know where you're watching from as well. It's absolutely marvellous actually to have the opportunity to play to people from across the country all at the same time.
Yeah.
And further beyond even. It's just
Absolutely. I think that's definitely one of the
Wow.
positives that's come out of all this.
yeah.
Because,
I'd agree.
as I say, we've been playing together for 7 years now. And people ask, when are you going to be playing in such and such a place? But now we can invite everyone to exactly the same gig. Yeah, great. Oh, thank you so much for all the really nice comments. People listening from all over the show. Ah.
What I would say is stay tuned because next we have a very exciting world premiere to share with you.
Yeah.
By a fantastic Brazilian composer who works and resides in London these days, Rafael Marino Alcaro, who is, I hope I'm pronouncing your name fairly properly, Raf.
We should have asked you this before.
He sat on the other side of the camera, so you'll be able to meet him shortly, actually.
Yeah, there'll be a discussion at the end of the concert. So what we would say is, if you have any questions or you'd like to, I don't know, just have a chat about the piece or about composition or anything like that, Raf will appear as if by magic at the end of the stream.
We should say a word or two about this.
Yeah, go for it. I'll pass around.
Okay.
You go.
So this is a 4-movement work composed for guitar and flute, but guitar heavily down-tuned, so you're going to hear some quite unique sounds, and hence why I'm playing on a different guitar on this occasion. And it's entitled Anoche. Rio Preto. Is it Anoche or Anoche? Anoche Rio Preto, which translates as to the north, Black River, like a dedication to the north. And musically, it is inspired by the native communities in the northern parts of the Amazonian rainforests. And I'm reluctant to say too much more about it now. We'll just let the music do the talking. It's tremendously fun to play, and it has been an absolute pleasure to learn. Thank you, Raf.
Yeah, it's been a really fun project for us as a duo. To have a piece written especially for us and to be able to collaborate throughout the whole process. It's been really exciting. So if anything springs to mind, do pop it in the live chat. We'd really like to hear your thoughts about this piece because it is the world premiere. All I'd say is we've approached it very much from the point of view of really trying to get into kind of this mindset of what the piece is about, and just to experience the sounds as they go. Yeah. So here it is.
Thanks, Raphael.
You lied at home.
Same, yeah. I need to pull my stool forwards again because I almost fell off at one point towards the end.
You might all have noticed that I was faffing about with my music quite a lot, and I'd not quite put this in my own head, but it turns out last time I played a piece by Raphael, it was a flute and cello work, and it was a lot of pages, and I played it over 2 stands, and halfway through one of the movements, I saw the music just disappearing in between the gap between the 2 stands. I think I'm emotionally scarred from that, so I was being extra careful today. It was okay, it was alright. Great.
So we've in this kind of Brazilian contingent of the program to finish. Rather fittingly, Raphael's new work came in between Villa Lobos piece and now a couple of pieces by Quarteto Novo, which we've arranged for flute and guitar. As their name suggests, it's a quartet which comprised Hermeto Pascoal on flute, and Raphael, Mira and myself have actually exchanged messages in relation to Hermeto Pascoal, the Brazilian flute player.
He's an absolute hero of mine. If you haven't checked him out, have a look on YouTube, Hermeto Pascoal. Just absolute legend.
Yeah, sensational musician, and inspired people like Miles Davis as well in the early 70s. So, and Ayrton Moreira was also the percussionist in this short-lived group, and then there were 2 guitarists, and one played the traditional 6-string guitar, and the other also played the Brazilian guitar, which I think is named viola caipira, but Brazilians will be able to correct me on that. So that has 5 strings, well 10 strings in 5 courses, so 5 pairs of strings. So what Mira and I are going to attempt to do now is play 2 of their pieces, Misturada and Ovo, which translates as mixed, I think, the first one, and the second, Ovo, translates as the egg. And we're going to try to attempt to play as 4 instruments, but on just 2 instruments. There'll be a lot of continued whacking of instruments. And,
a lot of weird techniques going on.
Yeah. So
but really fun.
A great deal of fun.
Yeah, these pieces are just hugely fun to play. That's the upshot of it, really. That's it.
Finito. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. That was a lot of fun. Nice one.
Yeah, nice one, Mira. It was nice to blow off some cobwebs.
I love how we have to congratulate ourselves. It's like, well done. Oh, very funny. Excellent.
Yeah, commenting, all of that sort of thing. Time to respond to your comments, start up a bit of a chat.
Yeah, we'll invite
special guests.
Rast up. We shall just grab some chairs, do a bit of furniture removal, which we should have slide line in.
Yeah. Better get my music out of the way.
I made the picture.
Yep, you could move actually a tiny bit further from your...
Good.
Yeah, welcome up, Raph.
Hey, Rast.
Hi guys.
Good to see you.
Welcome,
Back
welcome.
with the talk show.
Yeah, you are. You just didn't know it.
It was really nice to see you playing Quartetto Novo. You know, I grew up listening to this music, and it just brings back so many memories. Really well played as well. Really nice.
Thanks. I think you heard us play these tunes once before because we've been gigging them for a while. It
Yeah, a
was-
few times. I wish you'd play the whole album though.
Yeah,
we'll have to
that's
get around
the
to it.
original.
We'll have to get around to it.
Yeah.
There's some really nice slower ones actually, which I think could they could work well on alto.
Yeah, just amazing album. Like just seven tracks.
Just yeah,
But
Mhm.
really, really good. So I
Yeah.
listened to them on repeat
yeah.
Yeah,
for a
the
long
tracks
time.
are short, aren't they,
Yeah.
as well? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
a lot happens.
I'm gonna open up
They're all
this,
in interesting time signatures, isn't it? Misturado 7/8, and there's a lot of 7/8 in this which is weird with the like native rhythms because they're a bit chopped.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all normally 2/4 and 4/4 in Brazil. So I think it was the first time people did that in Brazil. Quarteto de Novo. After that, you had some other trios that were really good, like Tamba Trio and other ones that were really like almost progressive rock, but bossa nova influence.
And Azimuth.
Yeah.
Trio.
Yeah.
And Quarteto Novo started as a trio.
Yes.
Apparently.
Is that right? I didn't know
Hermeto
that.
Pascal Trio.
Yeah.
Oh, what's life without Hermeto?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like such
Yeah,
fun.
we're all fans here. So which questions do we have? Do we have anything?
Yeah, mainly just people saying really nice comments. Sorry, do you want to see?
Thank you.
Really nice stuff. I'm really glad you all enjoyed it. People seem to be enjoying the energy and stuff.
Guys, if you want another phone.
Oh,
thanks.
yeah, great.
Yeah,
So while we're kind of waffling away and reading through the chat, if you do have any questions, you'd like to ask Raph about his piece.
Oh yeah, Robert Laidlow asks, can Raphael tell us a little more about the singing? Well, yeah, gladly. So I started messing with the idea of making performers sing last year. I made Mira sing quite a bit, not inside the flute, but also outside, just by herself, with the piece I wrote for cello and flute for them, which was called Brincadeiras Brasileiras #2, which loosely translates to Brazilian banter. It has some sort of playfulness around the piece, and she had to sing, and the cellist had to sing quite a bit. I struggled with the idea of putting that in my concerto that for guitar and orchestra that premiered last year.
Vita wrote in the chat, so hey Vita, it's been so long.
Yeah, so Victor Noah
Great guy.
premiered the concerto last year, and I struggled with the idea of putting it in. But I did in the end. So in this concerto, the soloist is required to sing in the cadenza some indigenous, actually specifically Apinaye words in the cadenza and also in the end of the piece with the orchestra, and that was quite effective. It kind of glued the piece together. It made a lot of sense structurally. It's such an odd thing to see that it kind of has a pivotal point in structure. So in structuring the piece, it was really helpful. So since then, I just think it's good to put people to sing, and I try to do it as often as I can. So in this piece, I didn't do it too much, but I asked James to sing in the third movement some lyrics that are related to the actual melody, folk melody that I got inspired by to write that particular movement, which is the only one which is actually inspired by a melody that exists. The recording which this melody is in and the lyrics that they're in, it's kind of a very old recording, so it's not clear which indigenous tribe it is, just that it's the north of the Amazonian forest. And the lyrics are in Nhengatu, which is a type of Tupi-Guarani, a type of language of the Amazonian tribes. And the lyrics is really a celebration of the country there, the river and the birds and the nature. So I thought it was fitting with this piece. It's a very proud piece of music and very celebratory of that region, that nature of Brazil and also native Brazil. So I thought it was fitting, especially with the kind of festive elements in the third movement.
It's
a very festive movement.
That's right. Yeah, each of the movements that they all celebrate this, the native communities of the from the Amazon.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating with the piece, and I think something Mira and I have loved in terms of getting to know the piece, and has been the fact that each movement celebrates it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
So that third movement is, as you say, it's celebratory.
Yeah, it's
literally
very festive.
singing.
Yeah, literally singing. Yeah. Although there's some weird harmonies and effects, I think it reads as very, very happy, or at least almost dance-like.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it is melodic, really, at the end of the day, regardless of like the techniques involved.
It's a Dorian melody.
Yeah.
Super simple D Dorian melody. Although there's a lot of complicated intonations for you with microtones and things like that. It's still.
But it's still the same. It's
Still reads as a
still
Dorian.
kind of relative.
Yeah, pentatonic melody in D minor Dorian, D Dorian.
Mhm.
But yeah, all the movements, although they feel quite Brazilian, they're very different one another. I feel like a big inspiration for this music is Villa-Lobos and his language of what Brazilian music is, which I think he kind of created by himself with his life experience, the way he writes melody, and also a lot of his Stravinsky, which Villa-Lobos was hugely influenced by after the Rite of Spring. He wrote the Rude Poema, Savage Poem, for Rubinstein, and such a remarkable, intense, aggressive piece, celebrating what he would call the primitive. I don't think this word's fitting anymore, but somewhat more primal ideas about music, stronger rhythms, clearer, straightforward. So I think the second and first movement are very much inspired by this, while the third is very much almost indigenous in a way. The guitar is emulating a drum.
Yeah.
And the fourth movement is completely different. I feel like it's still Brazilian, but it has a much more mystical quality. It's much more intricate and soft and not straightforward, but it still feels very proud and very celebratory of this culture.
Yeah, in a slightly more like poignant way
Yeah.
than say the third movement.
Yeah, most certainly.
In many ways, Mira and I are really excited about the fact that we have many more concerts for which we have programmed this piece, and we
Yeah,
would have actually
absolutely.
been playing it at almost every concert now this season.
Yeah.
Alas.
We had at the time of commissioning RAF already programmed it for Allwyn Music Festival and so on, which would have taken place last month. And of course, every concert now has been postponed to 2021. But the exciting thing about that is that we are going to have a year of really getting to know this piece.
Yeah.
And being able to take it around, around to different
Yeah.
music clubs, music societies.
What was interesting is that this is the first piece I finished in the quarantine that actually got played in the quarantine as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like it has become
It's like a
the vibe.
cycle of itself.
Life is this now. So
Yeah.
I finished
Before
the piece.
we have another question.
We just focus on one question.
Yeah, I know, we've just been chatting
Yeah.
on. Before the next question, I'd be really interested to hear what everyone listening, if you're enjoying hearing from us, because normally musicians, we just walk on, we play the concert, introduce a few pieces, but there isn't so much chat.
No.
But yeah, I'd be really interested to hear what you think about that. I'm not sure if I told you actually, I'm setting up a video series, kind of like this, but on a much smaller
Exactly.
scale. So I'll invite different friends, and then so we'll play a short something as a duo, they'll play a solo something, and then we'll chat about a given topic. So yeah, kind of like this, but just very much
Less music.
reduced.
Yeah.
And James is gonna feature in one episode, so I'd be really interested to hear if people would be interested in that, and if they would like to hear about this series. I also have a mailing list link in the description.
Oh, cool.
Just a
Sign
bit
up.
shameless self-promotion here. But
No, sign up seems super interesting.
I just the chat bit, it's not
Yeah.
something that normally happens kind of in
No, it's
regular
interesting.
classical
I
music
like
life.
to hear people talking.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
So, should we do the next question? Well, it's more of a
Yes,
statement.
let's do it.
So from Derek. Derek, he's our manager. So thanks very much, Derek, for watching.
Yeah, hope you're well, Derek.
Yeah.
It's been some time since we've been down south.
So Derek says, I wonder if Raphael is a guitarist. He certainly seems to know his way around the instrument and its capabilities.
Yeah. Well, I'll answer that in two ways, because I kind of am a guitarist, but I don't play guitar live anywhere. So I was brought up playing guitar, and I dive into classical music, classical guitar specifically, and then I moved on to composition. But I never really got on stage to play classical guitar. But I'm very familiar with the instrument, so it's kind of the instrument I know the most. This and some others that I play, but guitar is probably the instrument that I play the most.
All Brazilians play guitar. Everyone
Yeah,
knows that.
that's-
Yeah.
They're just born playing it. It's
I have
kind
to
of
say,
a
this
special
piece
skill.
is remarkably difficult, so I want to congratulate James
Yeah,
and Mira,
absolutely.
because it's quite a challenge, and they learned it quite fast, and we had our rehearsals and everything, and they were amazing with understanding what the piece was and where it was supposed to go, and it's only going to improve from here. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
at the same
absolutely.
time,
and it's already
it's
good.
so, as well as obviously being challenging, it's so satisfying playing
Yeah.
more parts because they are idiomatic, on the guitar, which isn't. Guitar is not an easy instrument to write for.
People
but-
tend to shy away from it. People who don't know enough about the instrument.
Yeah.
That's kind of my feeling. Similar with harp actually. People tend to be quite scared of
Yeah.
harp and guitar.
Yeah. So Raf is able to really harness extended effects on the guitar, but to full effect. That's the thing because of your familiarity with the instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having an entire movement where I'm actually just playing as a snare drum,
Yeah.
but without it seeming
Yeah.
like contrived,
Yeah.
is a real reflection on your affinity for the instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that about your music actually, and the same with the flute and cello piece. Raf never writes an extended technique for the sake of it. I think, not to generalise, but I've played a fair amount of contemporary music, and some people, it does seem like some people will just write things
They like
because
them.
they can. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they can. But with Raf's music, there's always like a strong musical intention behind it.
Yeah.
I think that's why it is so satisfying to work on,
Yes.
and the fact that we will, we'll get more into the piece as we go.
It took me a long time to like extended techniques because I didn't see a point in my music to write them, and as I go, it starts to feel more intentional.
There's always a reason, yeah. You can always see what you're trying to
said,
achieve.
as you said, like there's a point.
Yeah.
There's a big point. So that's the only reason why I use it.
Okay, here we go. There's a question from Thomas Brown. Hey Tom. Tom's a composer. He's
Oh.
living in Amsterdam at the minute. He has actually written a solo flute piece for me, which I have just forgotten to learn, so I need to do that next
You
week.
should learn. Don't.
I know I should learn it.
You
It's
shouldn't
actually a
have said
really
that.
cool piece.
Tom's listening.
No, it's alright. I messaged him yesterday.
Ah,
He knows
there
it's
you go.
fine.
The cat's out of the bag.
Anyway.
What's this question?
Okay, one for Raf. What? Oh yeah, whilst a round sound, I find the general sound of the duo light, bright and colourful. What's your opinion on their sound, and how did this influence your approach to writing the piece?
Oh, I know Mira quite well. I know her flute sound, and I watched them both live quite a bit. James is very skillful and can hold complicated rhythms without much difficulty, which is not common for guitarists really. But there's, if you guys see the score of the fourth movement filled with septuplets or 7 in the space of 6, and quintuplets in the space of 3 and in the space of 4. Things like that. It's not easy, and it was super. He did
It's
super well
scary
with it.
to look at than it is
It's
to
scary to
play,
look at.
so-
It flows organically, but it's hard to play. So, actually, I listen to a lot of guitar and flute music, and when I approached this, obviously I knew their capability, but I wasn't going to shy away from anything I wanted to write because of their abilities, and there wasn't anything they weren't going to be able to do anyway. But what I wanted to do is a piece that sounded thick and loud. A lot of guitar and flute music is kind of soft and sweet, and even when it's loud or fast, it's kind of arpeggiated chords and nice melodies. But I wanted shouting, I wanted screaming. The second movement, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. This idea of almost like a drum, almost like an orchestral type of writing. I would certainly write that for like 2 bassoons and bass clarinet doing boom, 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 with maybe drums and stuff like that. So I wanted to get a thick, loud sound, which often is not the case. So going against the instruments a bit, especially the guitar, going against the guitar, going against its lightness, going to the other point of its loudness, its aggression, which is, I think, is a remarkable instrument to achieve aggression without being too loud.
Yeah, Vito actually says something. He says Bloody Roots, pure Brazilian heavy metal.
Yeah. He's referencing the.
We've spoken about this.
Yeah.
He's referencing the thrash metal band Sepultura's album of 1996 called Roots, Bloody Roots,
Oh.
which is when this band made a turn from being thrash metal to being thrash metal influenced by indigenous music, and it was a huge game changer in the metal scene, really. And it sounds a bit like this music, at least the second movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to go listen to that.
Yes, it's really good.
Mhm.
I've been listening to it a lot lately. Any more questions?
They seem a lot of just really nice comments. London saxophone choir. Oh, it's Stuart Watton. Do you remember from
Yes.
Future? Yeah, they're really nice.
Let's do one more question and then.
Yeah. Are there any questions as such? There aren't really questions, but people
Just
seem.
saying things.
See, people's kind of general consensus seems to be that people really like the kind of imagery, the use of extended techniques as well. That seems to be quite a common one that's coming up.
Just while Mira's reading through, Raphael mentioned the guitar concerto that he wrote for Vitor Noel.
Yeah.
And that's on Spotify now, isn't it?
That's on YouTube and Spotify. So there's a live performance that was filmed. It's called Concerto Pinaye, which is the name of the tribe it was inspired by. So this is on YouTube.
I really recommend going and listening to that.
Yeah, I was at the
For those who
premiere
want
of
to-
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the premiere.
And it's,
So good.
it's also on Spotify studio recording and on iTunes and everything like that. So all the streaming platforms really. But yeah, this was the first this piece Anarchi do Preto. It was the first Brazilian piece inspired that I wrote since the concerto. So after 6 months, I hadn't written anything that was Brazilian per se, and I was really missing it. So now, perhaps in 6 months, I'll do it again.
I suspect in lockdown you're especially missing.
Yeah,
Missing
I actually
memories.
finished this piece when I was completely in lockdown. I went to Portugal to visit family, and I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And I had really nothing to do. It was really lovely weather, and I could see the beach and all, but like I had nothing. I was completely isolated. So I finished this piece while in isolation, and I could work quite a bit, like 10 more hours a day. A lot of cigarettes as well.
One thing I should say is just a window into how we have managed to collaborate in recent months. Today is the first day we've seen Raphael.
We haven't seen each other.
This year,
Yeah.
And we would have, of course, before this performance, met up in person a number of occasions, individually and as a duo to actually go through the piece.
It was all through Zoom. And
Yeah, it was literally all through Zoom. Yeah.
2020 musician life.
So
That's what it's been.
it's very different.
with all its pros and cons, but Raphael
Yeah.
went through a lot of cigarettes while we
Yeah.
were on Zoom.
Yeah. I must quit. That's-
You told me that 2 years
That's
ago.
a topic for a different, completely different setting.
So yeah, I think just you can read through the live chat at a later date, but lots of really really nice comments.
I'll read it through.
But yeah, so it'd be really nice to stay connected with you all. We're on various social media things and my mailing list. If you want to come to future Meraki gigs,
Yes,
yeah,
we'll
I
be,
set up
we'll
a
be
mailing
around.
list.
and
I got
about.
around to that.
Nice one, Mira.
Like 7 years
Nice to
later.
catch up. And our thanks to Don Degavino as well. Degavino. I finally learned how to pronounce his surname. After 7 years, I've been pronouncing your surname wrong.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Anyway, many thanks to Don, and please continue to support this series. As you can imagine, musicians are deprived of a little bit of work at the moment, so it's incredible really to have this opportunity to play for you, and we're so grateful to be able to interact with you this way.
Yeah, and if you thought we were any good, there's also a GoFundMe link if you fancy donating to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys should do that.
And thanks to Raphael for joining us.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I had like a front row seat. It was just me and Don watching.
Oh.
Really nice.
Great.
Yeah, thank you very
Cool.
much.
Call it a day.